Aloha menehune and surfers on the World Wide Web. The human voice is a tool, a marvelous one, if you use it properly. For those who are willing to explore and experiment, the voice can lift the human spirit to great heights. But for those who ignore its potential, they get the job done, but no Academy Award. If you want to develop your voice, there are 5 things to keep in mind. The first is volume. In later videos, I'll talk about timing, articulation, and other vocal skills. But let's begin with the main problem for most beginners, and that is projecting loudly enough for people in the back to hear. In order to do this, remember 3 things. First, sit or stand up straight. Second, fill your lungs fully with air. And third, push the air out with your diaphragm. In order to fill your lungs fully, you need to take belly breaths. Your tummy should rise every time you inhale. If your chest rises instead and you're pulling in your stomach, you are filling your lungs partially. Then, after raising your volume several times, you'll be left with stiff throat muscles. How many times have you gone to a football game, yelled several times, and left sounding like a frog? It doesn't have to be like that. Use your diaphragm. Take a look at this picture. This red muscle under your lungs is your diaphragm. Let me repeat. Sit or stand up straight, fill your lungs fully, and push the air out with this muscle. Learn to use your diaphragm effectively, and you will develop a more powerful, resonant vocal quality. By the way, if you're in the habit of slouching, you will not be able to project your voice to its full potential. For one thing, you're not filling your lungs fully, and second, you're not using your diaphragm as well as you could. The second main problem with volume is level. You don't want to be barely audible, but by the same token, you don't want to blast the audience out of its seats. The best solution is sound checks. If you have a microphone, you'll test your equipment and adjust the level. Even if you don't have a mic, you should conduct some sort of sound check. Look at the person who's farthest away from you and say hello or some other greeting. In the Hawaii Speech League, our students say, "Judges, are you ready?" Then check the person farthest away for an attentive look. Say whatever is appropriate in your situation. Please note that if you come from a family or culture that discourages people from speaking loudly, you need to retrain yourself. You've been taught that loud people are obnoxious. No one wants to be considered a loud mouth. That's why you've been soft-spoken for so long. Change your mindset. It's perfectly fine to have a clear, dynamic energy in your voice. You just need to know when to use it. Otherwise, you will be considered a loudmouth. The third main problem with volume is consistency. Many beginning speakers start off their sentences fine, then trail off. If you see people in the back row leaning forward or losing interest, it means you're running out of breath or being careless about the ends of your sentences. Learn to be more mindful of the needs of your audience. My fourth and final point is a fine one. If you choose to use a stage whisper, remember to execute it in a suggestive way, not a literal one. You still need to project your voice. The three things to remember here are to change your body language, bring your volume down a tad, and exhale a little more forcefully. Got it? Give these tips a try and practice until you've developed solid habits. Remember, it's not a habit if you revert to your old ways. It takes mindful practice to develop your vocal skills. But once you do, you will have a marvelous tool